Hey, people. Welcome to episode 2 of Guess What I Did Last Night. I'm Keegan Real, and before we get started, I just wanted to say we're going to be posting these every Saturday at 11:30 Pacific Time. So adjust accordingly. I don't know what the other time zones are off the top of my head. I know 1:30 Central Time, 2:30 Eastern. If you're in the mountains, fucking figure it out. We got a couple story. Actually, I got a lot of stories, and then we're also going to do a little quiz towards the end of this. So just stick with us, and we'll jump right into it right now. I'm gonna start with something I talked about in episode 1, which is documentary, a little docu series that I watched recently, which was "Don't Fuck with Cats." Um, I'm not going to talk a lot about it. Just kind of going to say if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it. It kind of just goes into the mind of a sociopath and what people will do for vanity and notoriety. It's a story about a guy that thought he was a model, tried to do everything to get fame, couldn't do it, and went to the most extreme thing I've ever seen in my life just to get famous. Um, and kind of on the second side of that, I watched another documentary recently, which was the Aaron Hernandez documentary. And again, it's sociopathic. It's kind of somebody that can disconnect themselves from their own reality. So it's a guy that had everything in the world. And for me, I forgot how prolific of a player he actually was and how much he actually changed the game for the Patriots. He was uh, he was amazing. And just to throw it all away just to have, you know, that what am I looking for? The um, reputation of a gangster. And I mean, he was really about that life for sure. You can't say he wasn't. But in the situation that you're in, and with all the gifts that you've been given, to be able to do things like that just to screw it up, just so you know you can't be played with. I mean, there's a lot going into it when you talk about, his upbringing and um, spoiler alert, his sexuality and things like that coming into play. There's a lot of different things in the mind, obviously, of a killer. I think that's part of the documentary's title. But what they really don't talk about a lot, and I think is a huge, huge thing, is the CTE. It's towards the end, and it's a big problem. I went straight from watching that documentary into rewatching the movie Concussion, which is a book that I've read twice. And when you really stop and look at it, it kind of, and if you haven't seen that movie, watch that movie. Um, and it really kind of puts in perspective what these people are doing to their bodies from an early age. I mean, I played football growing up. Uh, I might have had, one, two concussions. I would say three because one time I got hit in the head with a bunch of boulders. We were trying to make a cave
Sure.
out of this big rock pile, and I got stuck in the middle of it, and somebody kicked out like the only weight-bearing rock we had, and I was directly in the middle. Um, but football, sports related, I would say I probably only had two. But you've got to think with the people that are growing up, and I mean, each level you get to from little league or from pee wee into high school, into college, into the pros, they're getting hit harder and harder. And it brings up another person that I think is suffering from CTE right now, which is Antonio Brown. Um, And the reason I say that, he's one of the fastest guys that's played the game. And when you think about the speed positions, and the movie Concussion kind of breaks this down really, really well. But those speed positions, you're coming at each other so quick and so hard. And basically, you're going just head to head contact. I mean, it's a car crash every time it happens. And we're going to put an example up of just one of the hits in the pros that Antonio Brown took, that obviously concussed him. I mean, you can see it. It'll be right here. And just take a look at this.
The pocket, middle of the field, incomplete. Personal foul. Oh, a flag does come in. Went to the head. Lewis Harris.
So, yeah, there's different angles, and it's going to keep going. But that's one of those hits that could instantly just magnify everything going wrong. And he's showing all the symptoms. I mean, he's in jail right now as we speak. You dumb bitch, he's rich. He posted bail. And he turned himself in on a battery case. But he's just gone so far off the deep end that there has to be an explanation. I mean, he wasn't this guy coming out of college. He wasn't this guy in college, from what I know. And to be somebody that, you know, was the face of a franchise, that was the best receiver in the world still could come back and be that. But to have all the mental things and all of the breakdowns and psychological issues that he's had, and to be, and yeah, I made fun of, you know, the gummy penises and all that, but on a real note, looking into it more as I have this week, you kind of see that there's something different, and there's something that's going worse and worse and worse over the course of a period of time. And like I said, if you haven't seen those things, just watch them. The Aaron Hernandez documentary is a really good one to start. I'm not going to spoil everything, but right after that, it was really informative for me to then watch the movie Concussion. You can rent it on YouTube. I don't know how much it was at the
it was like $3.99 or something to rent it on YouTube.
Yeah, so it's $4 to rent it. If you have a Netflix account, the Aaron Hernandez documentary is free. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about all of that stuff. The Don't Fuck with Cats, that's one of those you just have to watch to see, I mean, the amount of insanity. And the people, good for the people that found him. The Facebook group that was involved with this, and they were immaculate. They were walking down streets just on Google Maps, just clicking and going, clicking and going, clicking and going, literally hours a day to figure out just a location. And they ended up, being a huge part of it to help find it. And he was based around, and he was basing this whole thing on movies because he wanted to be a celebrity. He wanted to be a star. And it's insane. It's really crazy. But yeah, we're going to get into a couple other stories too. So to lighten it up from there, an Alaskan man carrying garbage to his shed had to take cover inside when a curious bull moose decided to join him. A ring home security camera captured Curtis Phelps trapped inside the shed while the moose, with just one antler, tried to push his way inside. So there's a video we're going to play right now. I'm going to watch it also.
He only has one antler? I didn't notice that before.
But yeah, they live in South Anchorage, where moose are regular visitors. 2 years ago, a cow gave birth to a calf in their backyard. Young moose. A young moose is called a calf, if you didn't know. He cracked the shed door a little bit. I thought he was accidentally calling me. I had no clue he was stuck in there. Okay, here we go. Seems like he's a Colts fan. That's a weird one from Alaska. I wonder what
Transplant.
Alaska football team would be like. No, because it's always dark, isn't it?
I was gonna say, it's winter in like August in Alaska.
But are they the type that has like? They have like nighttime all the time during their winters.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Having never been there.
Wait, why did he come out and go back in? So I'm gonna rewind it to 14 seconds. He throws away the trash. He comes out. I guess he sees it and doesn't want to. Oh. I would probably do the exact same thing.
I was gonna say, what would you do? That animal is huge.
That'd be a giant pussy. It looks like his. I mean, that might be snow. It looks like his skull is showing.
It's probably snow.
I mean, it only has one antler. It might have had a hard life. Wait, so how did he crack it? That doesn't show anything about it being cracked. He doesn't gently push it. From what I see. God, he said he walked outside and he looked both ways as we always do. Why would you want to live somewhere where you have to look out, like look both ways for just to go throw trash away? I mean, I'm the type of person that looks both ways at a one way, but at the same time, I mean, no, he looks like the type of dude that wants to do that. He didn't look both ways. He only looked one way. We have video evidence that you're lying, Curtis.
For shame, Curtis, for shame.
So he's throwing the trash away. Closes. Sees it. Yeah, fuck that. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. It doesn't touch the door.
I was gonna say, where does it crack the door?
That motherfucker cracked it because he closed it so goddamn hard.
This moose is just like, I'm bored. Turns away and walks away.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I feel like Curtis made that seem like it was way crazier to his wife. That's one of those where you just forget what happened because adrenaline hits you. Like you're just sitting there, and he's sitting there like it's not just because it's cold. His knees are shaking. He's got that like feeling like he's about to have to fight a moose off, like a one-antlered moose. I used to have a one-horned goat, but that was my fault.
You ripped the horn off?
Yeah, it got out.
What?
Well, I used to be a cowboy. Back in the day, I grew up on a farm, and our goat got out. We only had one goat, and I forget its name. No, I named it. Yeah, I forget its name. I think it was Gert.
Gert the goat?
Yeah.
I mean, I respect that.
But it got out, and so we got on our four-wheelers, and we found it, and I had a rope, like a lasso. I don't know how to use one, but it was still young. It was like...
How old were you?
I was probably 12, 13. Too old to be fucking with a goat.
Mm.
But, okay, that came out wrong. No, I was right around the age that was cool to me. Like, I'm about to get this goat in front of all my little friends / cousins. You hang out with friends when you're on a farm. You don't hang out with friends when you're on a farm.
You don't have any friends when you're on a farm.
I had friends.
You had goats.
That doesn't sound good either. But no, so we got out off of there, and he was standing there, and we tried to call him over. He kind of came over, but he was just about from, me to the camera. And I went to lasso. I threw, and when I threw, I got him, but I didn't get him like a whole head. I got him just around the horns, and I pulled up, and because he was so young and like still brittle, I pulled one of the horns off. And I did not know this, but there's like soft tissue inside the horn of a goat. It's like soft and pink. It's like a little. It looks like a ball sack, but like
Ew.
it looks like a naked mole rat if you like
Petey.
threw it in the water, kinda. But like, yeah, like I don't want to say lubed peanut, but I mean it looks like that. Like, it doesn't look good, and I freaked the hell out because there's no blood. It's just like horn flop, and then you see like the little pink thing in there. And I freaked out, and I had to make my dad go get it because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just left the rope, left everything. I just dropped it, and there was just a goat on a rope
You
running
just
down the
left
street.
him there, roped up.
Well, I mean, it's Mississippi. It's not out here, so there's like almost a mile in between houses. But yeah, no, Curtis made that story way better to get some sex. I feel like.
Does Curtis look like the kind of guy who's gonna have a lot of sex, or who has a lot of sex right now?
No, so that's exactly why he would make up a story about fighting off a moose and it cracking the door in the shed. I mean, he had a handlebar mustache. If you go to the very first part of the video where he kind of like comes out, he only looks one way, by the way, and it's the way of the moose. Like, how do you? I don't know. But yeah, he doesn't look like that, so I would bet he makes up this crazy elaborate story on how he fought this moose off. He probably said he tore the antler off of it before they checked the video, and then she checked the video and she probably dogged him. Let's see, next story. So last Friday, a Target manager who's now come to be known as Target Tory was harassed by David Levitt for not selling an $89 toothbrush for just a penny. And then there's a photo that he tweeted where it shows that there's a display out, and it shows 0.01. And I've worked retail before, and that's not a good thing to do because people try to get over on you all the time on stuff like this. But it clearly says display, and you have to, I mean, if your machine's not working that prints out those labels and all that, then you have to put a price on it or it won't let you print it. So that's probably, and I don't know for sure, but that's probably what happened here, just based on the fact that there is a price, because normally it will either just say display or it'll just have a description of, Oral-B Pro 5000. And it'll kind of show that, or have, an actual little thing about what it does. So this guy comes in and demands that the store sells the toothbrush for a penny. And the manager stood her ground, said no. So he left and then posted this photo of her. And then went on a huge rant on Twitter. These are all from him. I just had to call the police because Target refused to sell me the toothbrush. I did not call 911. I called the business number for the police and told them it was not an emergency and they could take their time and explain the situation. The cops have better things to do than worry about you trying to be cheap for a toothbrush. Okay, so the police verified Target displayed the price of a toothbrush for 1 cent. The store manager, Tori, refused to sell me the toothbrush for displayed price. The police said I need to sue them and that they are making me a verified report to take to court. You're going to sue them over an $89 toothbrush. What are you going to get? Corporations like Target are not above the law. The police officer told me they'd testify that they saw the price and that the manager wouldn't sell me the item for the price listed. I have not been able to afford to go to a dentist in over 3 years. Bro, so a toothbrush is not gonna solve your problems. Save that $89 on, oh, I mean, I guess if it's a penny, why not? But, like, you got bigger fish to fry. Because if you got a good toothbrush that's going to, like, dig deep in there, it's going to dig deep into those cavities you've already got from not going to the dentist from 3 years. Actually, I can't say that. I haven't been to the dentist in a long time.
But if he's talking about how he hasn't been to the dentist because he can't afford it, what the fuck is he doing buying an $89 toothbrush?
He's not. He's trying to buy a 1-cent toothbrush.
But he didn't walk into that Target thinking he was going to be able to get away with a $89 toothbrush for a penny.
So, yes, I wanted a good toothbrush, and I was thrilled to see such an amazing price on an Oral-B, but Target refused to honor it, and now I have to take them to court. What are your court costs going to be?
If you can't afford...
That's like that... it's a Memphis thing, but it's like the MSB is the way to go. Call 683-7000. Like those type of lawyers would be like the type of thing that you
Better
do.
Call
or
Saul
like,
type lawyer.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like the ones that have like the cheesy commercials and the billboards where it's just their
and the
face.
bus ads.
Yeah, like what's his face on Schitt's Creek? The Indian guy. Ray on Schitt's Creek. Like everything just says Ray. Call Ray. Like he's the realtor, the lawyer, the wedding photographer, photographer. I don't know why I just said it like that.
Words.
So the tweet soon went viral with countless people chastising Levitt. A guy named Brian Lee. So let me get this straight. You're bothering the police because of an obvious mistake Target made that you want to exploit. Because we all know those toothbrushes don't sell for 1 cent. Then you went on Twitter and blasted the photo of $15 per hour employee just doing their job. Good point. Like, it's not her fault that she's not going to do it. That's common sense that... And, I mean, I guess if you're kind of trying to play devil's advocate here. Words again. Devil's advocate. Then, yeah, I mean, she's making $15 an hour. She's working for a multi-billion-dollar company. And I guess, yeah, job security, too. If she does sell it for 1 cent. And a lot of those systems, there's not really a way to ring that up like that. Like, I wouldn't know... I mean, if you work retail or if you have been a cashier for retail, I've never been a cashier retail. But are there ways to manipulate the system in order to, like, do that?
Yeah,
because if she's the manager and she puts her number in, and she's even going to be able to discount an item that doesn't already have some type of coupon code or some type of, you know, like, it's based around SKU numbers. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, like, her being a manager, she could do it if she wanted to, but she was sticking to policy. You know, it's not a matter of her not being able to override something and change a price.
Oh wait, I left this part out too. He describes himself as a multimedia journalist who has worked for CBS, Access, Yahoo, and others. Award-winning multimedia journalist. So, if you're an award-winning multimedia journalist, why don't you have, like, dental coverage? You just didn't add that $10 a month in? Like, dental coverage isn't that much when you've got it through benefits and shit.
Journalists don't make shit, though. Until you're, like, fucking Katie Couric or something.
I worked in a sales job for, like, $60,000 a year, and it was like $12 to add dental onto your $24 medical coverage. Like, I mean, I get it. I guess if you have to pay for it for yourself, but if you're an award-winning multimedia journalist and you're working for the companies that he's proclaiming to work for, they're willing to pay out. And I mean, even if you're freelance and you're doing this type of stuff, like, you can still afford a basic dental package. It's not like he's coming in off the street. Like, if this is a homeless dude that was just, like, super fucking funny and had a big Twitter following. Because it's crazy, though, to go on a little tangent, how many homeless people have cell phones? I went me and my best friend, he came out here one time, and we went down to downtown LA, and we got lost from the parking garage because for some reason I parked in the one structure that had no LED lights on the outside during the daytime. And then you come, well, I guess all of them in LA have that, but you come out of it, it turns into nighttime, and the whole entire wall is an LED display. So we went past it 6 times because I was like, it's definitely not that building. Like I don't remember seeing a big ass poster, light up poster on it. But so we ended up kind of taking a turn for the worst, and we ended up in a little tent village of homeless people.
You in Skid Row?
No, it wasn't quite there. It was right off. Do you know where the big farmers market type thing is in downtown LA?
Yeah.
Right there by Hill Street and stuff?
Yep.
Okay, so right there.
Damn.
Yeah. So right there, and for people that aren't familiar with downtown LA, it's like the heart of downtown, but you're a little bit kind of outside of, it's like the old downtown area where the skyscrapers aren't quite as big. But so you get off of it for a little bit, and then it turns into a lot of like your bodegas, your jewelry shops, your pawn shops, like things like that now kind of overran that area. But you would see it basically looked like a tailgate community. Like if you're familiar with college football in any way, shape, or form, or any type of sporting event, you know how like the tailgate rows have the big canopy tents, and then under it if it's like a rainy day, they'll have walls and they'll have setups to make sure the rain doesn't get in. Well, this is how that was. And so there's rats everywhere, there's roaches, it's gross. There's like stray cats feeding on the rats while like homeless people are fighting the cats over the rats. Crazy stuff. And then you'll like walk past and you'll see some dude in a sleeping bag playing like Angry Birds using the little outlets that are outside of the buildings to charge his phone. It's insane. And it's like you see 20 of them on 3 blocks. So I could see like a homeless guy doing this type of thing and like thinking he's going to cash in because he goes to like a lawyer that's like, if we lose, you don't pay.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So yeah, the story soon went. So back to this story. The story soon went viral, and Twitter user Carpe Donctum, yeah, started a GoFundMe. People start GoFundMe pages over literally everything now.
Yeah, but
and
everyone
it
buys
actually
into it,
like
though.
works.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out what I need to GoFundMe for. If somebody can think of a really creative GoFundMe idea, post it in the comments below for this video, and I'll split it 50-50 with you. I mean, let me finish this before you make up your mind on a no. The page to help send Tori on a much-needed vacation. Over just 2 days, the campaign raised over $30,000. So, 15 grand if we can come up with something really creative together. Target responded by making an official Twitter profile for Tori, where she gave a heartfelt thank you, and this is what she said. I would like to thank all of you for your generosity, as it is inspiring to see so many people united for a good cause. If I have learned anything from this experience, it is that people are good and that these acts of kindness cannot stop with me. I am currently working with resources to find a cause that is worthy of your generosity and something that you would all be proud to donate to. Your support has changed my life. #TargetTory. Okay, this one's really good, actually. A Denver Sheriff's Department deputy who is transporting inmates has been cited and placed on investigative leave after getting pulled over for driving at least 100 miles per hour in a racing accident. Incident, not accident. He didn't have an accident. He was going 40 miles an hour or more over the posted speed limit in a construction zone. Driving over 100 miles an hour when the speed limit is posted at 60. He was also transporting 3 inmates. And I can see how this conversation probably went in there. I mean, this guy deserved it. I'll get to that part. But I could just see him turning back. and just, y'all want to race? And then you're handcuffed. You don't have a choice. I've been in the back of a cop car, and you don't have a choice on what they do. Like, there's no like kicking, there's no move. You're just along for the ride. It's even worse than being in like an Uber where you're getting taken away because you don't even know where you're going. You can't, like, you have no directions. You have no like ETA. There is no app telling you, like, because you don't have a phone anymore. So I could just see these dudes like going 100 miles an hour in a construction zone, no less. Like, you're just seeing bulldozers and shit on Colorado roads, which are like windy and mountainous, and you just, hey, y'all want to race? And a pickup job. What is his name? His name is James Grimes, and he's a grimy son of a bitch. I'll tell you this. He was also involved, on a more serious note, really quick. Also involved in the choking death of a homeless inmate, Marvin Booker. Rest in peace. A homeless street preacher following a struggle with multiple officers. So he's he's a piece of shit.
He's a bad guy.
He's a guy. I mean, he's one of those cops, like I said in the last episode, one of those guys that just like power of authority and I'm this, I'm that. Like, obviously the past speaks for itself on that type of thing, but it's hilarious that just to think about the point of view from the three people in the van that are just like, no, we don't. Like, you don't have an option. They were caught. They were caught by a helicopter. Where does it show that? The van was allowed to continue to transport prisoners while a thorough investigation was conducted. It said something about troopers located the two vehicles with help of a CSP helicopter in the area. Franklin was stopped, arrested, and charged with DUI. So he's okay. So no, this dude wasn't. He's just racing against a drunk guy in a pickup truck. He's in a police van with 3 inmates
and another deputy.
And another deputy. Well, the other deputy's probably like, "Go, man, go! He's beating you. You gonna let that dude beat your ass?" I don't know why I just made the other deputy black, but I did. Yeah, he's racing against a drunk guy with no insurance.
It's a winner.
Oh man.
Wonder if he pulled the drunk guy over, the other guy, and then the guy was like, "I don't have insurance," and then that's when he was like, "Well, I'll tell you what we'll do."
No, it just shows that they took off. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about that.
I want to know how that conversation went down.
Yeah, with another Denver deputy and 3 inmates. That's probably gonna be his his argument based around it, or his defense on it. Is like, I was trying to pull the guy over and he wouldn't stop. They're like, "Motherfucker, you were in front of him." He's like, "Well, I mean, I was winning." I don't know what this guy sounds like. I wish I could find something on what he sounds like, because I'm guessing it's got to be close to this. Just looking at him. Here's a picture of him. It's kind of blurry, but you can get the gist. Actually, he looks like he sells like the best insurance in Denver. Well, he looks like he sells the shittiest insurance, but plays it off as the best.
He looks like a bank manager.
Yeah, that, or he's like gonna sell you $1 million life policy, but when you die, it's like 250 grand, and he keeps 750. He like writes it into the contract or some shit. Yeah, I mean, I can just see like, God, think about being in the back of that van. Okay. What else? Okay, so this next story, we're going to be talking about a true man amongst boys. We've got a video of a high school wrestler attacked by their opponent's dad. Grown-ass man was arrested Saturday after he attacked his son's high school wrestling opponent during a match. And there's footage. So here's that footage. Oh, shit! I take it back. This guy sells the worst insurance. He is in khaki pants, an olive green shirt, and what have to be Pumas. Or Skechers. They might be Skechers. Oh my god. So wait, what happened?
His kid was losing. I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Does anybody... Okay, a wild brew... Okay, so here's the brawl that happened after. Oh, that bald dude ain't playing around. I can tell you one thing. If you're ever in any high school wrestling, college wrestling ordeal, and a fight breaks out, be on the same side as the bald guy with a long sleeve shirt and a tucked in. Always. Just rule of thumb. Because he knows some shit you don't. I'll tell you that right. I mean, you can see it in this brawl. Like, right here, the guy in the Skechers and the olive green and all that gets taken down, instantly puts into a chokehold because he takes his back, and he's mounted. And, again, long sleeve shirt, blue jeans, belt, tucked in, bald. Don't mess with that guy. Okay, if they're wearing a North Face over it, probably take that guy. But the ones that have the leather belt with, especially if it's got the, what are those called? The metal pieces in a belt.
The grommets?
I don't think that's the word I'm looking for.
What are you talking about?
Like, there's the leather belts, and they have the little circular
all
metal
the way around.
pieces.
Those are grommets. They're like big.
I have never heard that word in my fucking life. So I don't think that's it, but we're gonna go with it. It's unclear. Okay, so it's unclear why the man went. The wrestler was not injured. No, not that, you emo. We're gonna put a picture of what she just explained up. No, that's not it. Like a golf belt. Like,
the fuck is a golf belt?
a studded belt. No, that might not be what I'm thinking about either.
See, you don't know.
Okay, not
Can
something
we move
like
on from the belt?
that. Well, now I want to know. It's not studded because that's emo shit too. Let's look up just.
Is it a utility belt of sorts? Does it have do the holes have functions?
No, it's not holes. It's like metal, like thing. It's like little circular oval metal things with like a design on them.
And who would typically wear this sort of thing?
My stepdad used to have one. They're pretty common. Like they're like It's like what you would see on cowboy belt. Something like this. No, why does it keep showing this dumb shit?
Hold on.
I'm not moving on. I'm gonna find this belt. Okay, there it was. An ornament belt? What? Is what this one's calling it. Like this.
I have never seen that before.
Okay, well, here's a picture of what I'm talking about. If you know the actual name, because this one says tapered ornament belt, but I don't think that. I feel like there's a word that used to be like I knew it as.
It looks like a woman's belt, though. Like it's pretty.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what it's made to be. Like
So a
it's.
cowboy wears it?
Well, no, they usually have like they'll have that same type of thing, but it'll be like a cow's head is like in the oval, and it'll be like the cowhide belt or something. I need to stop talking about cowboy shit in this episode. Ben Askren has something to say about it too.
Well, so I don't think it's a wrestling thing. I mean, I think wrestling is a great example where.
For those of you that don't know who Ben Askren is, he just retired from the UFC. He was a two-time NCAA wrestling champion. And he didn't do too hot in the UFC, but he had a really great career like overseas. Like I don't think I know, but let's see what he had to say about it right here.
Obviously, because also the parents are allowed to get very close to the competitive, stage, the wrestling mat where people are competing at, and so something like this is then allowed to happen. Obviously, last year we saw the parents fighting. That unfortunately did take place in Wisconsin. Oh my goodness. But we see stuff like this, and so obviously I follow this reformed sports parent, and he posts stuff like this all the time where parents are getting kicked out of events for fighting each other or other stuff. So just parents need to figure out how to be better role models for their kids. Parents need to take a step back.
I agree with that.
Saying my kid is doing this because my kid wants to.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I know I agree with that. Parents of sports, kids sports. Like I can't tell you how many of my friends growing up, and even me to extents on some sports, didn't want to play the sports anymore because my stepdad or my mom or my dad in some cases would be so on me about doing that thing that it didn't give me a chance to actually have fun and enjoy it anymore. And they take it almost just as, I mean, more serious than you do, and they're trying to like relive their highlight years. And if I mean, parents don't really listen to this, I don't think, but if you're a parent and you're watching this because your kid watches it, stop doing that shit. Let your kid have fun. If they're good, they're gonna be good. If they enjoy it, they're gonna get better. They're gonna want to get better. If you push them to be better because they're not good, they're gonna quit. They're gonna give up. They're gonna stop. So if you want to enjoy your life around sports, allow your kids to be kids and play. Don't do any of the shit that you see just because you see another dad yelling at his son and that kid's good. He's going to be good regardless, and he might quit and not be great down the road because of that parent being that way. So don't jump in. Don't be a follower in that regard. That's all I have to say for that. This dad obviously didn't make the right move, and he's also in jail. A lot of jail stories too. We got a lot of redneck and jail stories tonight, today. But okay, so the quiz that we're gonna do is the Enneagram test. It's like the Myers Briggs, but it has more options, I think, and it kind of just shows you. Just for an example, it's a reformer, lover, achiever, creative individualist, thinker, security seeker, adventurer, leader, peacemaker, and it's probably, I'm guessing, going to explain what all of those mean. But if you want to take the test after you kind of finish this episode, we're going to have the link in the description that you can go straight to the same exact one that I'm doing now. I'm not going to bore you by making you sit and wait for me to get done with this, so I'm just going to do it really quick, and then we'll get right back to you whenever I finish it. Okay, so this one gives you the top 3 types, and mine are type 8, type 7, and type 5. So it's the challenger, the enthusiast, the investigator. And I'll just kind of read the descriptions above. I'll put each one for maybe 15 seconds while I'm doing this, or 10 seconds, so you can kind of read and you can pause if you want to and read what each one is. Challenges are direct, self-reliant, self-confident, and protective. How to get along, stand up for yourself, be confident, strong, and direct. Don't gossip about me or betray my trust. What I like about being an 8, being independent and self-reliant, being able to take charge and meet challenges head on, being courageous, straightforward, and honest, getting all the enjoyment I can out of life. What's hard being an 8? Overwhelming people with my bluntness, scaring them away when I don't intend to, being reckless, restless, and impatient with others' incompetence, sticking my neck out for people and receiving no appreciation for it, putting too much pressure on myself. I agree with all of those. That's the one.
Creepy.
The enthusiasts are energetic, lively, and optimistic. They want to contribute to the world. So, how to get along with an enthusiast? Give me companionship, affection, and freedom. Engage with me in stimulating conversation and laughter. Appreciate grand visions and listen to my stories. What I like about being a 7, being optimist and not letting life's troubles get me down. Outspoken and outrageous. Generous and trying to make the world a better place. What's hard about it? Not having enough time to do all the things I want. Not completing some things I start. Not being able to profit from the benefits that come from specializing. Not making a commitment to one career. Again, spot on, I think. The investigator. The investigators have a need for knowledge and are introverted, curious, analytical, and insightful. I'm not so much introverted, obviously. I'm doing something that I put myself out there for everybody to see. Even though, I mean, I kind of could still be introverted because I'm only doing it with me by myself and a camera. But how to get along, be independent, don't be clingy, speak in a straightforward and brief manner. I need alone time to process my feelings and thoughts. Okay, yeah. Remember that if I seem aloof, distant, or arrogant, it may be that I'm just feeling uncomfortable. Make me feel welcome, but not too intensely. I might doubt your sincerity. Okay, that's true. What I like about that, standing back and viewing life objectively, yes. Coming to a thorough understanding, perceiving cause and effects, yes. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is pretty spot on again. What's hard about it, being slow to put my knowledge and insights out in the world. Feeling bad when I act defensive or like a know-it-all, yeah. Being pressured to be with people when I don't want to be. Sometimes, not really anymore. I used to be a lot like that. In high school, even in college and kind of right after it, I was a lot like that. I did not really care to be with people. If I didn't feel good, I wasn't up for it, and I would make it miserable for everybody. Now, I find positives in everything, but I could see where that would be, something for everything else that's kind of going. Watching others with better social skills but less intelligence or technical skill do it better professionally. That was not true. Just based on my cockiness of me thinking that nobody really has better social skills than I do. But yeah, so if you want to take this test, and this isn't an ad in any way, it just seemed like a fun thing to do and for me to kind of learn about me on camera. We're going to have the description, or the link in the description for this, and I'll probably also post a link on Instagram in the coming days. So if you don't get to this in time, just check Instagram, but if you're watching this, just do it from the link. It's not that hard. And then towards the end of the video, since we're ending it now, I want to shout out the person's whose shirt I'm wearing. It's Anthony Formoso. His link for his Instagram will also be in the description. The logo for the podcast is on the back side of this shirt, along with a couple others. But he's an up-and-coming fighter that I'm personal friends with, so it would be great if you would go out and give him some support and just kind of check out what he's got to offer. So until next week, we'll see you then. Peace.